Hey guys, welcome to the video. We're going to be talking about Elite Dangerous today and the new announced Vanguard update, which is the big update that's coming this summer for Squadrons. Elite Dangerous is going to be getting a big shot in the arm for this collaboration feature amongst players. The update is going to be called Vanguards, but this is going to entail a lot of updates to the Squadrons feature. If you're not familiar with what Squadrons are, it is this game's take on multiplayer collaboration. Other games call them guilds, corporations. Elite Dangerous calls them Squadrons. Star Citizen calls them orgs, organizations. EVE Online calls them corporations. This game calls them Squadrons. So it's going to be a big refresh of the Squadrons feature. The three main things and the purpose of this update, as explained on the live stream today, they want to make Squadrons more user-friendly. They want to make them easier to use for new players, new player-friendly, and they want to make them easier to maintain, make them easier to create and manage for people who already have Squadrons or new players who are looking to create Squadrons. So that's the main purpose of this update, is to try to make things easier, more user-friendly, and easier to maintain, and with more flexibility. And also to give players a reason to join Squadrons, because currently there isn't a big incentive besides collaboration to join a Squadron. One of the big new features that they're introducing with Squadrons is a logo creator. Squadrons will now have a logo associated with it, and it has a basic logo creator which allows 3 layers of composition, which provided icons that they give you, so you can't upload your own stuff, and also some pretty basic color options to give you some kind of a unique identifier. The exciting part about the logo creator is that you can use it as a ship decal in Elite Dangerous. That's right, you can put your Squadron logo as a decal on your ship. So that is a big plus to create a very nice logo in the logo creator. So that's good. Leaderboards. Squadron leaderboards has always been a thing, but it's been controversial because a lot of the bigger Squadrons kind of dominate leaderboards. Well, they're getting reworked so that smaller Squadrons who were struggling to be competitive with larger ones can now have a say and now have a stake in the game. So there's 2 new brackets which are going to be introduced. They're going to be a top 10 bracket and a top 50. And they're only going to take the top 10 or the top 50 people of each squadron to kind of help with balancing. That's the way I understood it from the live stream. We'll see how that pans out. We'll see if it kind of balances things. But you know how players are. We're gamers, so we're going to game the system. So hopefully this will balance it out, but who knows what's going to happen. So before I talked about reasons to use or join a squadron, one of the reasons why you would want to join a squadrons are things called perks, and there's going to be 2 types of perks that you'll be able to assign to squadron members. You'll have a primary perk, which are active for everyone no matter where they are in space, or you can have a faction perk, or I should say and you can have a faction perk, which are faction based perks in the game. Some examples of some primary perks given in the live stream were XP increase, cargo insurance. If you're a trader and you explode and you lose your cargo, you can get a percentage of that back. That sounds good. Also, ammo and limpet synthesis discounts and things of that nature. So there's a lot of little things in here that could potentially be very beneficial. The screenshots show a bunch of other things, like they even showed CQC XP benefits. I don't know who still plays CQC, but that's actually kind of cool. And some other things that may or may not make it into the final build. The next thing that they're adding, not just perks, they're going to be adding a bank. And what do you know? We'll be able to give people credits through this bank. You'll be able to store credits, but there'll be some limitations on what you can do. So I don't imagine it's going to be a way to transfer wealth to players as easily as you think it may be. There's probably going to be how much you can move in versus how many credits people can move out. It's going to be a way to transfer credits, but I don't think it's going to be a huge problem, because that can make way for our RMT. That can make way for people selling credits in Elite Dangerous if they don't put a limitation on this. So we'll see how they implement it exactly once it comes out, but I'm going to be looking at that very closely. Now you're probably thinking, why? Why can I only store credits and then nothing else? Well, Frontier thought about that, and they've introduced something that we didn't see coming. Okay, I didn't see coming. A Squadron fleet carrier. That's right, the almighty fleet carrier, the billion-dollar opulence machine, has now been introduced, and it's a lot bigger than the normal fleet carrier. But the cool thing about this fleet carrier is not just any fleet carrier. It's going to be a storage facility for ships, commodities, and squadron member personal assets. Yeah, so not only can you store credits in your bank, you'll be able to store ships and commodities and personal assets on the fleet carrier itself. And I gotta say, I was kind of using my fleet carrier as our squadron fleet carrier unofficially. People were docking on there. It was a way to like keep up with where everybody was going. If you didn't have the time to play every day, you would log in one day, we'd be at a community goal, and then the next day we'd be back in our home system doing some BGS activities. So this is going to be an official squadron fleet carrier. Now, obviously, this is Elite Dangerous we're talking about, so the fleet carrier will have limitations. We don't know all of those limitations, but they gave some examples during the live stream. The big one is that, hey, I can store ships. We can put together some ships for people to use for various roles, whether they want to do combat, mining, trading, what have you. But you can't do engineered modules. Yeah, so only vanilla ships will be able to be stored on the squadrons, which is kind of a downer. But I'm sure Frontier has their reasons. I don't know what they are just yet, but kind of a bummer that we can't do engineering, because I think that would inject a lot of incentive for players to play and grind engineering mats, so that we can give away, pimped out Fer-de-Lances or pimped out carriers, and not carriers, but Corsairs and other different types of ships, like an engineered cutter that's really good at trading, or an engineered Mandalay that's really good at exploration. Won't be able to do that exactly. So that's kind of a bummer, but we'll see. There's going to be other limitations that we'll find out as we get into this. So we'll see once this comes out this summer. Summer is basically now. We got a few more days until it's officially summer. So in the next 3 months, we're going to be looking at this Vanguard update with Squadrons. So we'll see how Frontier does. It sounds exciting for players who want to collaborate, especially with new community and goal-based incentives and group-based activities like colony building now is being a big push right now for new players to come and collaborate. You add a squadron fleet carrier on top of that, it's going to be a lot easier to coordinate a lot of these activities with the Vanguard update coming this summer. All right, guys, that's the video. We'll be looking forward to what Frontier says next about this new feature. If you enjoyed the video, please comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everybody.